Today I'm going to be talking about my April TBR. There are so many books on my radar for my April TBR. It's a lot, but I'm going to start with my prompts. We're going to pull 5 prompts. I'm going to pick books to match those 5 prompts, and then I'll tell you about some of the other books on my radar and what I really think I'm going to read in April, because I'd love to read a ton in April, but I need to be a little bit more realistic. So let's get into it. Starting with my prompts, I'm going to pull 5 from the jar. First up is today's mood. 2025 backlist TBR. This is perfect because I was already planning on reading another book for my 2025 backlist TBR in April, so I already know what this will be. Backlist book from a favorite author. This was one of my audience submitted prompts. Banned book. And then lastly, repeat author. So let's start with my 2025 backlist TBR pick that I know I'm going to pick. It also happens to be a banned book. So I'm going to combine these for Beloved by Toni Morrison. I don't know very much about this book, but I've really been wanting to read something from Toni Morrison. I feel like this one's very popular. So this was on my radar. I put it on my backlist TBR for the year. I also am interested in reading more banned and challenged books, especially as someone who lives in Florida, and especially with seeing how increasingly challenged books are being, all the things that are going on. It just makes me want to prioritize those reads even more. So this was already top of my TBR, and it worked out perfectly to pull both of those prompts. The protagonist of this novel was born a slave and escaped to Ohio, but 18 years later, she is still not free. She has too many memories of Sweet Home, the beautiful farm where so many hideous things happened, and her new home is haunted by the ghost of her baby who died nameless and whose tombstone is engraved with a single word, beloved. So this will probably be a pretty heavy read, but I'm excited to check it out. Next, I'm going to try to pick for backlist book from a favorite author. I have a stack of books I'm looking at here, and several of my favorite authors are represented here, but these are not backlist books from them. They are their next most recent books from this year. Taking a peek at my shelves, I have Hairpin Bridge by Taylor Adams. I have The Beast You Are by Paul Tremblay, but neither of these are speaking to me. I think I might pick Across the Green Grass Fields by Shauna McGuire, because I have been very slowly making my way through this series over the years. I mean, it's been years, and I think this is the 6th book in the series. I just love them, but I take so long to read them for some reason. And this one is the Horse Girl book, I think, and that did not sound appealing to me, so I've especially been putting this one off. They're so short, they read so quick, and I have the next 3 on my shelves, so I think I just need to pick it back up. This gives me a good excuse to prioritize it. This is a little fantasy series about these portal worlds, these children who go to these different worlds. I genuinely have such a good time every time I read these, so we'll pick it up in April. For the repeat author prompt, I will pick the book from my stack that I think I've read the most from this author, and that is The Man Made of Smoke by Alex North. I have read 3 novels from Alex North, and I've really enjoyed all of them. This is his latest book. It is coming out in May of 2025, so the publisher sent me an early copy, and I definitely wanted to get to it before May, so April, perfect time to pick it up. This is a serial killer thriller about this guy whose life has been haunted by a crime he witnessed as a child, where he narrowly escaped an encounter with a notorious serial killer. He's dedicated his life to profiling criminals since then, and then his father dies under suspicious circumstances, so he revisits his small town where he grew up, a small island community, and there's potentially some connections going on between the serial killer and his father's death. These are always a good time, so this seems like a good pick for the repeat author pick, to pick someone I've read from a lot. I usually have a good time with this stuff, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Lastly, I need to pick a book for the today's mood prompt, and this could be either what I'm in the mood for today or a book that matches the mood that I am feeling today. For the first side of it, what I'm in the mood for today, I don't freaking know, because I actually am, we're still in March when I'm filming this, I am ahead of my reading schedule, so I have time to read extra this month, and I can't actually figure out what I'm in the mood for. I have all these different books staring at me, and I'm like, I don't know what I want to pick. So that is already a challenge I'm facing, so I'm not going to do that. I'll do what matches my mood today, find a book that matches that energy. My mood today, I would say I am a little bit tired. It is a Monday. I had a busy weekend, and it's been very gloomy. It probably doesn't look like it, but it's been very gloomy and rainy today. So I'm kind of feeling like I just want to lay down. I'm just feeling tired and very gloomy. So I'll see if I have a book that matches that vibe. Maybe Awake in the Floating City by Susanna Kwan could be a good fit for this, because this sounds like it's going to be kind of like a heavy, depressing kind of sad book. It is a cli-fi story, climate fiction. It's a dystopia, and it follows these two people, an artist and a 130-year-old woman that she cares for. And they are the last people who are living in a flooded San Francisco of the future, the home neither is ready to leave. The older woman's health takes a turn, and the artist determines to honor their disappearing world and this woman who's brought her back to it, a project that teaches her the lessons that matter most: how to care, how to be present, how to commemorate a life in a place soon to be lost forever. So this sounds like it kind of matches the mood that I'm feeling today. Also, like a city underwater, lots of rain, and it's a rainy day. I think that matches. This is coming out May 13th, 2025, and was sent to me by the publisher, so I definitely wanted to read it soon anyways. Those are my reading prompt books. Now I'll talk about everything else. First up, I am bumping You Are Fatally Invited to my April TBR. I talked about this in my March TBR. This is the March pick for the Literally Dead book club, which I am co-hosting this month, but the live show isn't actually going to be until a few days into April, and I like to read my book club picks really close to the live show date so it's as very fresh as possible. I don't like to finish multiple books after that, so I'm going to be bumping this back a little bit. This is also why I have some extra time for my reading in March. This is an isolated island thriller with writers, death, murder mystery. I think it's going to be a really good time. So look out for that live show soon, and it's not too late to read along if you would like to join as well. I have ARCs galore this month. I have so many ARCs that publishers very kindly sent me that I need to read because they're coming out in May. I have so many that I'm not even going to slow down to talk about a lot of them in depth. I'll just show you what they all are, and hopefully I can get to all of these in the month of April. I also am thinking I'm probably going to do a reading vlog where I see just how many ARCs I can read in a week as a way to challenge myself to get through some of these. And I don't have many other reading vlog plans in the month of April. It's mostly sit down videos, so I think that'd be a nice one to throw in the mix. But these are all the ARCs that I need to read in May. For mysteries, we have The Retirement Plan by Sue Hinsenbergs, Detective Auntie by Uzma Jalaluddin, and No One Was Supposed to Die at This Wedding by Catherine Mack, which is the second book in the Vacation Mystery series. I already talked about Awake in the Floating City and The Man Made of Smoke. And then I have Feeders by Matt Serafini, which is a thriller/horror book, and The Memory Collectors by Det Meserve, which is a sci-fi story. And then I just got access to Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, which is actually coming out April 1st. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time on my Kindle in April getting through a lot of these stories. A lot of them are ones I'm very excited for. They're also a lot by authors that I haven't read from before, so I'm hoping they go well, but there is a little bit of risk with that, so we'll see how many I can get through. I also need to do some catching up of some physical ARCs that I have, which, to be fair, some of these I got after their publication, and one of them I think actually the paperback just got published, so this book's been out, but then I got it sent in paperback when it came out. So one of those is The Shutouts by Gabrielle Korn. This came out December of 2024. It is a queer dystopian novel. There's a climate change relief program, and it's set in the same world as this author's story, Yours for the Taking, which I have not read, but I feel like I could read this independently and it sounded really good. I just honestly kind of forgot it was on my shelves, so it would be nice to try to get to this pretty soon. And then pretty recently, I just got The Dollhouse Academy by Margarita Montemor. I absolutely love Una Out of Order by Margarita Montemor. I also enjoyed Acts of Violet, I think was her second novel, and this is her third one. This one is a novel about best friends and aspiring actresses who join the Dollhouse Academy, where stars are made and dangerous secrets are hidden. This one came out in February of 2025, so I'm getting a little bit behind on it, but I think I got it right at the end of February. So I would like to get to this soon if possible. And then this one, I think that the paperback must have just been published. I don't think this is an ARC. That's Cover Story by Celia Lasky. This is from the same author of the books So Happy For You and Under the Rainbow. I have not read either of those, but I have seen them. And this is set in 2005. You're following a woman named Allie, who's a publicist for Hollywood's biggest stars, tasked with keeping gay celebrities in the closet. She herself is also a lesbian, presently mired in grief over the loss of her partner, and then she gets assigned a new and unruly client, Kara Bissett, who's breaking onto the scene with a hetero-romantic blockbuster. Keeping Kara's sexuality under wraps becomes Allie's biggest challenge yet. She begins to find herself drawn to Kara. She begins to question the Hollywood closeting system. I personally am very interested in the Hollywood closeting system. It is horrendous, and it is far more common than you think. And I feel like now more people from Hollywood, even in the last last year have started to speak up about this more often. We've seen Kurt from Glee, I can't remember his actual name, but he did an interview recently where he talked about the closeting system and how he dated all these closeted people back when he was filming Glee, and so those people are still closeted today.
Like first came out on the show, everyone was in the closet. Everyone was closeted for their careers. Even people behind the scenes were closeted. So there wasn't a very big pool to dip my toe in.
You weren't willing to date someone in the closet?
Oh, I know I did. Oh. I did. I mean, I didn't have a choice. I dated people who were still in the closet.
We've heard Kristen Stewart talk about this and how she was forced to be closeted. So I think as the years continue, we're going to be hearing even more about this. And I think it's really cool that there is a romance book that is set with that as the topic. It sounds really good. And I feel like it would kind of be a good stepping into spring type of book, starting to read some more romance. So hopefully I can get to this. I can't remember if I talked about this in March, but I do want to read the new Hunger Games book, Sunrise on the Reaping. It came out in March. I did not read it in March. I think I'm going to try to do the audiobook because I have so much to read physically that I think it'd be nice to have something dedicated to audio. So I'm considering doing that in April. That's like an April hopeful. And then in March, I started the Everflame series, the Kendra's Curse saga. I read Spark of the Everflame and I actually had a pretty good time with it, and I do want to continue in that series. And do I have time to read a 600+ page fantasy book out of nowhere for the series I just started in April? No, I do not have time for that. Will I be making time for it because I was shocked at where that book ended and I'm really intrigued in it and I was digging the romance that was developing? Yeah, I'm probably going to be continuing that. And they're on Kindle Unlimited. So I have Kindle Unlimited there right there. The second book is Glow of the Everflame, and I feel like I've heard this one's even better than the first book too, so I'm probably going to be reading that. There's still so many more books I want to read right now. I feel like I have so many books on my shelves right now that I want to get to, but those are the priority ones. Hopefully I can get to most, if not all, of those books for April. Let me know down in the comments below if you are planning on reading of them with me. Let me know if you've read any of them before and really loved them. And particularly for all of the arcs I have, let me know which ones you're most interested in hearing about so I can try to plan them for that reading vlog that I plan on doing. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.